Good morning, and it is a beautiful morning here in Helsingborg, Sweden, for the IPF 2019 World Classic Powerlifting Championships. I'm Gary Williams, and I'll be taking you through the 53 and 59 junior men this morning, and kicking off Yota Tanabe from Japan, 110 kilos to get the ball rolling. And of course, none of this is possible without the great support we get from Eliko, who just continually raise the bar. Aplift, bringing coaches and athletes together from all around the world, and SPD, makers of the greatest lifting apparel on the planet. And Yota Tanabe from Japan, 110 kilograms. We got a best lift of 120. Weighed in this morning at 44.35. So well over double body weight. And speed was good. Let's see what the depth was like. And it is on the board with 3 white lights. Taylor Edward from the USA now, 130 kilograms, 22 years of age, just shy of his personal best.
Bars loaded.
Gets down deep, came a little bit forward there, but still manages to get the 3 white lights. John Panetta from Canada now, 132 and a half.
Bars loaded.
23 years of age. Got a best lift of 152.5. Be moving into the Opens next year. And the juniors, this is the future of powerlifting right here. Sinks it in very deep. And gets the 3 white lights. Sol Ali from Great Britain now, 145.
Bars loaded.
A couple of years competition experience under his belt. And lifts that head up, and you can see the difference there when he lifted that head up. All of a sudden, the speed just doubled. Gets that one on the board. Keito Hirai from Japan, 150 kilograms. Almost nudging 3 times body weight there. Weighed in at 52.2 this morning. Got a best lift of 168.5 kilograms. Absolutely monstrous for this body weight. current world record, 200 kilograms in the 53 kilo class. And 240 in the 59s. Huge, huge weights. Yeah, gets that one on the board. He's got quite an interesting technique, which we'll get to have a look at on his next lift. Terence Go, Singapore, 157.5. So we're into the 59 kilos now.
Fast loaded.
157.5, 23 years of age. Military man, and he will be heading into the Opens next year. Nice walkout. Very controlled lift. Let's have a look and see. Gets the 3 white lights.
Fast loaded.
Julian Gutierrez.
Adrian.
157.5. And very smooth all the way through. A little bit of a wobble in the midsection, but certainly didn't affect him in any way whatsoever.
Fast loaded.
Rostislav Zerepsov from Ukraine, 157.5. And that's certainly a familiar face in his corner. One of the great Ukrainian coaches. He's still got a couple of years in the juniors. To give you an idea of how big of a future the sub-juniors and juniors are for powerlifting, throughout this week in the juniors, we're probably actually going to see a number of competitors that are actually open competitors as well as open world champions. Very powerful lift. Keeps that chest up all the way through. Gets in nice and deep. And of course he gets the 3 white lights. Hugo Granberg, Sweden, 160 kilograms.
Fast loaded.
2 years under his belt. 20 years of age. Here he comes. So just some adjustment of the rack height. I'll restart the clock. So you see him go back out the back there. Basically what he's doing, he's restarting that traditional, that ritual, the habit of how he likes to walk out. And it's certainly, in a lot of cases, it's an important part of a lift. So this young man is super strong. He put a 173 on the Swedish Nationals just last year, and he gets the 3 white lights with 160. And now we move Junto Chia from Japan, 165.
Fast loaded.
Very strong young man. He's got a best lift of 180. So good attempt selection so far.
Rack.
3 white lights, that one goes on the board.
Fast loaded.
And Derek Nig from Canada, 165. And you can probably see in the background there Vicky Taylor-Hood, who was competing yesterday, coaching all week. Competed yesterday, outstanding performance. And I saw her this morning, she was up early having breakfast. About 5:30 this morning, and here she is again. And so many people involved here, such a great commitment to the sport. Great technique from Derek there. Is that wider stance. And he gets the 3 white lights. So widening that stance out in some instances can open the hips up, but it's also a lot more work. The adductors.
Fast loaded.
Denis Pavlov from Russia now, 170. And those knees just dropping in, and you can see how hard that made it for him when those knees dropped in. He gets it on the board, but it's something he's going to have to really focus on for his next lift. And Daniel Tan from Singapore now, 185.
Fast loaded.
So 185 kilos, got a best lift of 195. So it should be a reasonably secure opening lift. And he picked up a 4th place at the World Championships last year in Calgary.
Rack.
He scored a 190 there last year, so he's certainly on his way to improving that performance. Yota Tanabe from Japan now, 120. We come back to the start for the second round. Looking to equal his personal best of 120.
Fast loaded.
So he is the lightest of this 53 kilo group, weighing at just 44.35. So this is an absolutely monster lift.
Squat.
And he gets it to the top. It was a little bit of a fight. Hits the 3 white lights, and 120 is very, very close to approaching 3 times body weight for that young man. John Panetta now from Canada, 140. So 140 goes in the bar, still below his personal
Fast
best.
loading.
You can see him getting himself in that mindset. So every athlete has their own little way, little ritual of how they get themselves in the right mindset. And it's common across many sports. Some like to listen to music, some like to sit quietly. Everyone has their own little way of doing it. He has quite a narrow setup.
Squat.
But he gets down very deep. And he gets it on the board. Edward Taylor, USA now.
Fast loading.
Looking for a personal best of 140. He's going to need to dig that bar in deep into his back, push those knees out. There's a big lift weighing at 51 kilos.
Squat.
That was a nice clean lift there. He pushed those knees out well. He gets the 2 white lights. Just one referee saying not quite deep enough, but 2-1.
Fast loading.
Afsal Ali, 150. A good opening lift at 145.
Squat.
Gets in nice and there's the head come up. He was just a bit too late on it. You could hear his coach yelling from the sideline, head up, head up, head up. But just as he put his head up, he paused. And he'll come out on his 3rd, and he'll put all that together, and he'll absolutely smoke that. Keito Hirai from Japan, 155.
Fast loading.
So still under his personal best. So weighed in at 52.25. Yeah, very, very close to triple body weight, which is absolutely enormous.
Squat.
Quite an interesting technique there. Looks like he draws in air as he's going down and then really pushes into it on the way up and gets it on the board, but I don't think there's a whole lot of room left in the tank. Julien Gutierrez from France now, 165. This will be a personal best.
Fast loaded.
So 165, weighted at 58.3.
Squat.
Depth was good. See, he just wasn't getting that chest up enough though, and it made it very, very hard for him. But he managed to muscle it through.
Fast loaded.
Rostislav Zerepsov from Ukraine now, 165. Right on his personal best. And Ukraine had an outstanding performance at the World Classic and World Bench a couple of weeks ago in Tokyo. And this young man picked up a gold medal at the European Classic Championships last year, where he scored at the 165. And he's had to work for that one. Well, he came up fast. Once he got through that sticking point, the speed really picked up. Terence goes, Singapore, 167.5.
Fast loaded.
167.5, just shy of his personal best. Taking his time. There's still plenty of time left. You certainly don't want to cut your time too short in case you have to replace the bar. And he handles the weight. He is really borderline on depth though, and he gets pinged by the referees on that one. Hugo Granberg from Sweden, 170.
Fast
He has a
loaded.
174 in his resume. He's got himself a national record there. He finished second at the Western European Championships last year. And a very, very strong young man. And he puts that one up as well. So Derek Nigg from Canada now,
Fast loaded.
172.5. They competed last year at the 6th World Classic Powerlifting Championships. Picked up a 7th place in the Opens. Picked up a silver medal in the National Championships last year. Picked up a gold medal last year in the Opens at the Canadian Nationals. very strong lifter. And he gets the white lights on the board. Junto Fujiya from Japan now, 175.
Fast loaded.
And 175 kilos on the bar, just shy of his personal best. Just 19 years of age.
Squat.
And he had a little bit of a tough time with that one. Not quite sure how his depth was, not deep enough. Just pulled that up a little bit shy, and you can see he just struggled a little bit with that one. Denis Pavlov from Russia now, 177.5.
Fast loaded.
Super strong young man. This will be a massive personal best for him.
Squat.
And those knees just dropping in.
Back.
I imagine he could get so much more power if he pushed those knees out. He's incredibly strong. So 192.5 now.
Fast loaded.
Daniel Tan from Singapore. If he can put this one on the board, he's pretty much guaranteed himself a gold medal in the squats.
Squat.
It's that big breath in. Depth is good. It's smooth all the way through. Great technique. Great lift. And he has a big, big future in powerlifting. We come through to the third round now. Yota Tanabe from Japan. 122.5. This will give him a personal best.
Fast loaded.
122.5 for Yota Tanabe from Japan for a personal best.
Squat.
Oh, he had to fight through the middle, but he gets it there. And he gets 3 on the board and a personal best. John Panetta from Canada now, 142.5. Getting that all set up for him.
Fast loaded.
Still under his personal best. Getting himself a little bit more psyched up for this one. take his time here. Nice step out.
Squat.
Sinks it in. He's having to work for it,
Back.
but never really looked in doubt. And he gets the 3 white lights. So Edward Taylor now from the US, 145. This one will move him up into the silver medal for the squat.
Fast loaded.
And it'll give him a very big 10 kilo personal best. So 145 kilograms, 10 kilos over his personal best. But he already hit a great 140.
Squat.
He might be cutting it a bit shy on depth there. The weight was pretty easy for him, but just not deep enough. You can see he just pulled it up a little bit shy. Sometimes that's because it's a new weight you haven't handled before, or you get a little bit anxious.
Fast loaded.
Assault Ali, Great Britain, 150. Still under his personal best. He hit this on his second. He just couldn't quite get deep enough. Just needs to be confident in his abilities. He's a strong lifter. And needs to lift that head up.
Squat.
You'll hear his coach tell him to lift his head up.
Yeah, push.
And there's the head, and you can see it works. And he didn't pause that time when he lifted his head, so it goes on the board. Makes a big difference. Keito Hirai from Japan, 160. You can practice all the technique you like in the gym 1,000 times over. Sometimes when you set foot on that platform, just everything leaves your brain and you completely forget all those little things. And that's why your coaches will stand there yelling, head up, chest up, sit back, all the different cues. And every coach and athlete will have a different set of cues. Because once you get that bar on your back and the cameras are on you, the lights are shining, the refs are watching, sometimes you just forget everything. Really taking his time with this one. So 160.
Squat.
And it's just a little bit too heavy. Not today, unfortunately. But he will take home the gold medal for the squats. Taylor will take home the silver, or Taylor will take home the bronze for the squats in the 53s. So now back into the 59s. Terence Go from Singapore, 167 and a half. Very calm lifter. Every lifter has their own way of dealing with it, handling the moment, handling the stress, the anxiety, the adrenaline. Some like to really fire up and shout and scream. Others like to have their headphones on in the background. And some just casually walk out to the bar like it's a Sunday afternoon.
Squat. Back.
And 167 and a half goes on the board. Handles it very well that time.
loaded.
And you can see all the referees, all the coaches, all the athletes do so many different jobs. And of course, our technical controller, the great postilion watching over everything. Julien Gutierrez from France, 167.5. This will be a nice personal best to put in the bag to take home.
Squat. Le dos. Réagis. Allez. Relance sur l'avant.
And just a little bit too much. You can see his knees just pop in a little bit there. And he just lost too much speed. And he's a bit disappointed with that. Rostislav Zherevstov from Ukraine, 170. Be a nice personal best to take home as well.
Pause loaded.
$170 for a personal best. A very strong young man. Man, he's got some great coaches in his corner. And most of those coaches from the Ukraine there. You can see them standing in the background. Got back to the Ukraine on Sunday night last week, and a week later on a plane back here. Depth is good, and he just powered up really well and just pushed a little bit forward there. A great job from the spotters to grab onto that one. It's probably one of the hardest ones to catch when the lifter falls forward. He did a great job there. Hugo Granberg from Sweden now, 175. And
Pause loaded.
just a fly wing over his personal best of 174. It'd be certainly nice to beat his 174 and take that home. And just a little bit too much. Today's not the day for that one. Junto Tsuchiya from Japan now, 177.5.
Pause loaded.
The 177.5. Interesting call, missed 175. If I remember rightly, he just really wasn't getting down deep enough. Now they've thrown an extra couple of kilos on, chasing after that silver medal in the squats. So this will temporarily move him up to the silver medal. And he's going to have to be super confident in his strength and his ability. And he gets it up there, those knees popping in again, and still not quite deep enough.
Pause loaded.
Derek Ng from Canada now, 177.5. Currently has the bronze medal in the squat. And this won't really improve on that. He needs to just play every card within the safe zone to keep chipping away at that total. Def looks good. Gets back on those heels almost too far back, and he knows it. He knows he was almost too far back. nearly tipping backward there, but he managed to recover. So Denis Pavlov now from Russia, 180 kilograms. He's an extremely, extremely strong young man, especially at this
Pass
body
loaded.
weight. But he's really going to have to drive those knees out. That 177.5 was tough. And this will be a monster personal best. I imagine the coaches would have been out the back there talking to him. Drive those knees out. Russian coaches are great technicians.
Squat.
It's down deep. And it's just a bit too heavy there. Just needed to really push out with those knees, but he gave it everything he had. So 197.5 now. Daniel Tan from Singapore. This will be a nice little personal best to put in his pocket. He'll take the gold medal home for the squat. He's a very cool, calm and composed lifter. And this is his fired up look. I think that's the most fired up we've seen him look this morning.
Squat.
And the depth looks good, very strong, great technique. Keeps that chest up all the way through, gets the 3 white lights and it's on the board. And he'll take home the gold medal for the squat and a nice little personal best to put in his suitcase as well. Well, don't go too far away because in 20 minutes we're going to be right back here as these young men come out and show us what they can do on the bench press. Welcome back to Helsingborg, Sweden. We are just about to kick off the bench press for the IPF 2019 World Classic Powerlifting Championships. And the clouds have rolled in, the rain's rolled in, but the thunder and lightning is kicking off in here. We've got the 53 and the 59 kilo juniors about to hit the bench press, and this is the absolute future of powerlifting right here. These are your future world champions. Some of these guys are already open world champions. That is how strong these guys are, and that is how competitive this sport is. Yoto Tanabe from Japan is going to start us off with 65 kilograms, weighing in at just 44.3 kilograms this morning. Get a personal best of 70 kilograms. And wants to put 65 on the board to get the ball rolling. And these are the young guys you want to watch. These are the technicians. They work super hard on technique. Wants to get a quick press, gets it. Very smooth lift, very nicely done. Kaito Hirai now from Japan, 70 kilograms. So opening on his personal best. You'll see the chalk on his back. That's to try and increase the coefficient of friction between him and the bench. And Alico have done a fantastic job with this new bench. They've actually increased that coefficient of friction with the bench itself. So gradually, as lifters get used to these new benches, well, you'll see them start using less and less chalk on their backs. And a great opening lift. Very good opening lift there. So Edward Taylor now, USA, looking for 85. Kilos. This is just shy of his personal best of 92.5. So only got a few years competition experience. And I'm pretty sure, I think this might actually be his first World Championships. He got a gold medal in the Raw Nationals USAPL last year. And smooth all the way through. Be happy with that one. So Derek Legg from Canada now, 90 kilograms. So just shy of his personal best. Just trying to give some instructions to the center spotter there. Now, I think it's a really important thing to do that. I also think it's a really important thing to make sure those instructions aren't complicated. You don't want to have a really technical, complicated lift-off. You want to keep things as simple as you can, so it's very easy for the spotters to do that and to understand the instructions. Gets that chest up super high. And a little bit of a stumble through the middle, but it certainly didn't seem in doubt. Julien Gutierrez from France now, 95 kilograms. Just shy of his personal best. Taking his time.
Stop.
Chest is up.
Press.
Oh, he's a little bit hard on the press, on the touch to his chest there. But he managed to straighten up and tighten it. And gets it on the board. Hugo Grunberg from Sweden now, 97.5. Just 5 kilos shy of his personal best.
Stop. Press. Right.
And Hugo Grunberg gets that one on the board. So, Afzal Ali from Great Britain, 100 kilograms. Generally has a fairly solid bench. And there's quite a good build to the bench press, especially in the 59 kilo class. Gets up on those shoulders.
Stop. Press. Right.
And a great press. Very nice opening lift there. Great technique. Terence Go, Singapore, 102.5.
Fast loading.
Very calm, very casual. And very simple lift-off instructions. 1, 2, 3, lift. Bench is one of those lifts where that lift-off can make such a huge difference to your performance, where it's placed. You know, if you have a very technical, complicated sort of lift-off and someone else is doing it for you, it can really upset the rhythm. So you've got to really look at your lift-off and try and keep it simple.
Stop. Press. Right.
And a fast lift there. And he's getting one red light from the head referee there for his elbow not being locked out. And he just motioned that to the coach there, so the coach knew what it was for, so they can fix that.
Fast loading.
Daniel Tan, Singapore, 105. So the head referee clearly has the best angle to see those elbows. And he decided they weren't locked properly. And they need to fix it now because the side referees are going to be having a closer look on his next lift. So Daniel Tan, 105.
Stop. Press.
Very nice opening lift. And these guys and the coaches are doing a fantastic job of selecting their opening lifts. Junto Chia from Japan now, 110. Well under his best lift of 122.5. Taking his time. Getting right up on those shoulders. You want to try and have
Stop.
all the forces in line.
Right.
And he gets that chest up so wide, so high, and manages to spread those arms so much that he reduces the range of motion right down. For John Panada now, 117 and a half. If he can put this one on the board, he will secure that gold medal in the bench press with his opening lift.
Pass loaded.
Getting fired up for this one. Simplicity and adaptability. You've got to be adaptable, because when you come to these competitions, you're not getting a lift off by your coach or your training partner.
Stop. Press. Back.
And it was a fairly good opening lift. And he gets one red light, and I imagine that's for his butt lifting off the bench. We could see as he pressed, you could see his hips rise from the front. So I imagine the side referee was able to pick up a little bit of butt movement off. Now,
Pass loaded.
Rostislav Zherevstov from Ukraine now. 117 and a half. Very powerful young man. He's already had a pretty good morning on the squats. I imagine now he wants to have a really good day on bench.
Stop. Press. Back.
And he's getting off to a good start there, that's for sure. 3 white lights. Denis Pavlov from Russia now, 125. 21 years of age. And this young man is super, super strong.
Pass loaded.
Let's have a look at his bench. He has a super strong squat. Finished on a 177 and a half.
Stop.
Now looking for a 125 on bench. And he has a super strong bench as well. He just opened with a 5 kilo PB and gets 3 white lights. So we come back around to the start now. Yota Tanabe from Japan, 70 kilograms. This will equal his personal best.
Pass loaded.
So the lightest of the 53 kilo lifters.
Stop. Press. Back.
And he handles that one well and gets the 3 white lights. Keito Hire from Japan now, 77.5 for a big personal best.
Pass loaded.
Really taking his time with his setup here. It's one thing you have to think about too with your setup on bench. So he's now down to 20 seconds. And he's still not set up. If he gets any reason to replace the bar, he's not going to have time.
Stop. Rest.
And that's a hard lift. And he gets it there. So he gets the white lights. Edward Taylor now from the US, 90 kilograms.
Fast load.
So just shy of his personal best.
Stop.
And just clips the rack on the way up there, but it didn't impede at all. So he gets the 3 white lights. And Derek from Canada now, 92.5.
Fast load.
Just reminding the centre spotter of how he wants it lifted off. All right, he's going to get those shoulders under as much as he can. Try and line up the forces, for lack of a better description. Basically, if you've got a bar hanging over empty space,
Stop.
and you're wasting a lot of forces and wasting a lot of energy. And he gets the 3 white lights. That's a nice, easy second lift there. Julien Gutierrez from France now.
Fast load.
100 kilograms for a personal best.
Hey.
Always nice to take home a personal best from an international competition. A little bit of an added bonus. And he'll take this one home. He does with 3 white lights. Hugo Granberg from Sweden, 102.5. Right on his personal best.
Yep.
102.5 kilograms. He's a cooking assistant to the future Swedish chef. Afzal Ali from Great Britain now for 105, just under his personal best. He's got a very, very strong bench press. And people are certainly built differently and built better for different lifts. It certainly doesn't mean you can't do a lift. And it certainly doesn't mean that someone's going to be better, but this young man in the 59 kilo class has a great build for bench press in this particular weight class. He's really giving that everything he's got. His bench is going to develop and come a long, long way. You will see him breaking bench press records in years to come. So Terence Go from Singapore now, 110 kilograms. He wants to put a equal personal best up. So currently in the 53 kilo class, there's no set world record, so the standard is 130. And in the 59 kilo, the world record is 140 kilograms, owned by Boris Komisarov from Russia, back in 2017 in Minsk. So some super strong guys in this weight class. Daniel Tan now looking for 112.5 for a personal best. Taking his time there. You can hear the coach in the background, squeeze, squeeze, keep it tight. And that was absolutely textbook there. You could see there was very, very little body movement, so all the energy production was going straight into the bar. Junto Tsuchiya from Japan now wants 120.
Pass loaded.
$120 kilograms, just shy of his personal best. He gets that chest so high, and yeah, he's got the replacement call for the elbows there, which we expected. I thought they'd be looking a little closer. And that looks a lot better. And just couldn't quite get it all worked out for that one. He's got a little bit flustered with the replacement. And John Panada now from Canada, 122.5. So coach just wants to change the rack heights. On his nomination, when he set his rack heights, he set them for 6 and safety racks at 3. So 122.5. This will be a big personal best for him. He's already secured the gold medal in the bench press with his opening lift. And he's going to have to fight it. He's fighting. He's going to get still going up. but there it just starts to catch backwards there. And good job from the spotters, and great job from John Panada there. He held onto that bar all the way through. The spotters grabbed it, and he still held the bar. Sometimes the lifters think to let go of the bar once the spotters have it, but you should follow that bar all the way to the top, even if the spotters are taking it. Rostislav Sherepsov from Ukraine now. 122.5. This will equal his personal best.
Stop.
What a display of absolute brute strength on that one. His elbows flared out. He got into the worst position, but he muscled that all the way through. So Denis Pavlov now from Russia, 130. This is a big, big personal best. 10 kilos over his best lift. He is a super, super strong young man. And this lift will pretty much secure the gold medal in the bench press for him. And I think he already had the silver medal in the squats.
Stop. Press.
He's having to work for it, but boy, does he muscle that through. It was work, but it was smooth all the way. So we roll back around to the start now. Yota Tanabe from Japan, 72.5. Try and finish on a personal best.
Pass loaded.
So weighs in at 44.35, lifting 72.5. So you might be sitting at home thinking, yeah, I can lift 72.5. Can you lift 72.5 when you weigh 44 kilos? That is absolutely enormous.
Stop. Press.
Oh, he's had to fight. You throw a mosquito on the top of that bar and it's going to break him. But he gets the job done. And I think if he can put all the aspects of technique together on his third lift, he can get another couple of kilos out of that. Keito Hirai from Japan, 80 kilograms. So looking to take home a very big personal best. He's already got a PB. This would be a really nice one to throw in his suitcase, a 10 kilo personal best. Really taking his time with his setup here. He's only got 15 seconds left. And it's not enough time if he has to replace the bar.
Stop. Press.
And it's just a little bit too heavy for him today. But he's put in a great effort. He will take home the bronze medal for the bench press. Edward Taylor now, USA, 92.5. And he'll take home the silver medal in the bench press in the 53 kilo class. This is equal to his personal best.
Stop. Press.
And that is a good press.
Yes, sir.
I think there's a couple of kilos left in the tank there, but he's conserving himself. He keeps some in the tank for the deadlift and just maybe take a run for the silver medal overall. So Derek from Canada now, 95 kilograms. .95 kilograms. Coach just letting him know that there's 30 seconds left on the clock.
Stop. Press.
Oh, a great third press there. Really nicely done. And he's happy with that. So Julien Gutierrez from France now, 105. So give him a nice little personal best to take home. He's already got one. He wants to add a little bit more to that. And didn't take too much time there, so still has more than 30 seconds before the start command was called. And looks like he's just twinged a little bit of a shoulder there. You can see him just sort of grabbing at that there. Could been a little bit of a muscle twinge, a little bit of a cramp maybe. Hugo Granberg now from Sweden, 105. The Swedish chef. This will certainly give him a nice little PB, nice little reward to take home with him. But it's just a little too heavy today. Afzal Ali from Great Britain now, 105.
Pass loaded.
So he missed this on his second. He's got a best left of 107.5. I really think if he is able to put all the little bits and pieces together, get everything timed right, he can nail this one. But it's going to be a big task. The bench is a lot more complicated than what people think. He's right up on those shoulders. It's a nice lift off. Sets. That's it. He puts it all together. And that is the difference. In his second attempt, it hardly moved off his chest. In his third attempt, he puts it all together and gets it on the board. Terence Go from Singapore now, 112.5.
Pass loaded.
He'd like to finish on a personal best as well. Very cool, calm and collective. So 112.5. Again, using so much time with his setup. and works it back to the top. Never really looked in doubt, and he gets it on the board. Daniel Tan, Singapore, looking for 117.5.
Pass loaded.
He put a personal best in the bag on his second lift. Now looking for getting another one. So 117.5. Oh, he's a little unstable there. He's just struggling to stabilize the bar.
Stop.
He gets it. Has he used too much energy? And yeah, just a little bit too difficult for him. He just couldn't quite stabilize the bar. He can go home with his head held high, though. He put a PB on the board at a World Championship event. Junto
Pass
Tsuchiya
loaded.
from Japan now, 120. So missed this on his second. Had to re-rack the bar. So he had a replacement call from the head referee regarding his elbows. Hopefully he's listened to that and won't make that same mistake again. Yep, I think he's going to get a replacement call again. He's just not straightening those elbows out. You can see when he's unracking the bar, there's 10 or 12 degrees of flexion in the elbow. That's better.
Stop.
Just gets in there.
Press.
And somehow he muscled that through. And he gets it on the board, only just. Only just, but he does it. And that's precisely why it's so important not to have a setup. Not to have a setup that takes you to 18 or 15 seconds left on the clock, because you just do not have enough time if that happens. John Panada, 122.5. So missed this on his second. And it really just looked like he mistimed everything. So this time, let's hope he can get all the timing right and put it all together.
Stop. Press.
That's more like it. And he's still pushing through. He's nearly good. He gets it to the top. From here, it looks good. It is good. He was fast off the chest, but that right-hand side just lagged behind. It was like the turbo lag on a Mitsubishi Starion.
Pass loaded.
Rostislav Zherobots from Ukraine now, 125. Personal best, very strong young man. This will give him the silver medal in the bench. So he has the silver medal. So Gia from Japan has the bronze. And just a bit too much. You can see his elbows just pop out a little bit too early there. But he is super strong. He'll take the silver medal. Now Denis Pavlov from Russia 132 and a half. He has the gold medal in his suitcase for the bench press already. It's packed away,
Pass loaded.
ready to ship back home to Russia. Right now, though, he wants a massive personal best of 132 and a half. This is a big lift.
Stop.
So this is over double body weight. And he pushed it hard. He almost got it there, but just not quite, couldn't quite push it through. But he'll take home the gold medal for the bench press. But don't go too far away. In 20 minutes' time, we're going to be right back here, and we're going to kick off a Saturday morning deadlift party. welcome back to Helsingborg, Sweden for the IPF 2019 World Classic Powerlifting Championships. And we are just about to get underway with the deadlift session here. It's been an exciting session in the 53 and 59 juniors so far, and it is just going to get better. And the one and only Jo Stoneface Whiteley has joined me. She's smelt the action.
I have. I couldn't stay away.
And has decided to rock up here and jump on in. It's fantastic to have you back on board again.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yota Tanabe from Japan, now 140. These guys are absolutely ridiculously strong. I mean, I know everyone loves watching the heavyweights, but this young man here weighed in at 44.3 kilos this morning.
Wow.
You know, and
he looks so young, doesn't he? I was surprised he wasn't a sub-junior.
He's 21 years of age.
Wow.
He hit a 122.5 squat, 72.5 bench, and now looking at a 140 dead. I mean, that is huge.
Here he goes. Little bit
strong.
Asymmetrical coming off the floor, but he had no trouble with that, did he?
Yeah,
very fast.
The weight was nothing. So Taylor Redwood, 150 kilograms. And there are a lot of strong young men in this weight class. And we just had the sub-juniors on platform 2. And I caught out of the corner of my eye there a world record attempt at the deadlift.
Yeah.
Did he get it?
He did, 240.5 kilos, and he shouted easy at the top, and it really looked it.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
Okay, we have Edward Taylor from the United States, and he's made short work of his opener.
Yeah, nice easy opening lift. And the coaches and athletes in this session have been bang on the money with their opening lift selections.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than missing your opener. It throws you. Your game plan is out of the window. Your confidence is gone.
Yeah, it just makes the rest of the session super tough. So Keito Hirai from Japan now, 160. And he is a very strong young man.
So this is quite close to his PB. His PB is 167.5.
Yeah, so actually all of his opening lifts were pretty close to his PB. I think one of them was actually over his personal best.
Training must have gone very
so
well.
he's had a couple of good training blocks in there. One of the things I love most about sub-juniors and juniors is the unpredictability.
Yes. And, that was...
Oh, that might be a little bit tough there.
I
think that's dipped a couple of times.
I think it has. I think he'll get blue cards for that.
Yeah, there it
across
is.
The board.
Yeah, I think he just mistimed a lot of it. I think they'll go back at the back. They'll have a bit of a chat about some of the timing and the technique there. Once he puts it all together.
Of course, balance is always a little bit of an issue with the sumo deadlift.
It's a little bit tougher with the sumo, isn't it? You've widened that base of support, but.
And he's put the same lift in again, 160. I think that's the right choice.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of get it on the board before you put it up.
Definitely. Unless it was very super easy and it was something like jumping the command, but even then it's such a risk to go up.
Terence Goh, Singapore, 170. Yeah, I think as a coach I've probably done it once or twice in my entire career.
Yeah.
And it
you have
paid
to be
off.
Supremely
but
confident.
I think I got lucky.
I've done it myself to stay in the competition and to stay competitive.
Yeah.
But it was a scary thing to do.
It is. It's a big,
that
big call.
was lovely. That was so fast.
Very, very easy opening lift.
So Terence Goh was the first lifter we saw from the 59 kilo class. We have the 53s and the 59 juniors on here.
All rolling together. Junto Tsuchiya from Japan, 180. He's a strong young man, had a bit of trouble on bench. Just mostly around locking his elbows out.
Okay.
So 180, the guys are just cleaning the bar off properly. Getting that all ready. And that bar takes one heck of a pounding.
Okay, here we go.
Uh, 180 probably a little tougher looking than you'd
Yeah.
want for your opening
Yeah,
lift.
I think he got a little bit off balance though. It came up a little bit asymmetric, so maybe that hurt his lockout a little bit.
Yeah, I think his mindset is probably a little bit thrown too from the bench press.
Maybe
He got a
it
couple
does
of
throw you.
replacement
Yeah.
calls. Hugo Granberg from Sweden, 180. And I think it's one of the things you learn as a sub-junior, then a junior, and then you get into the opens. You know, you learn how to handle those, bad moments and
Yeah.
learn how to shake them off. And that was a fantastic.
That was
opening
fantastic.
lift.
I think it's the first conventional we've seen so far in this session.
John Panada from Canada, 182.5.
I can see Vicky Taylor-Hood sending him out there. She competed
Yeah,
yesterday
she's had
herself,
a
and
huge
she's
week.
straight back in the coaching chair.
She's been coaching all week, then competed yesterday, and an exceptional performance as well. And now coaching again.
There's a charismatic young lifter. Brought a lot of character to the platform there.
And not only charismatic, he is super strong.
He is. So yeah, he's a 53, isn't he? He's opened higher than some of the 59s.
So he has just solidified his total, and his
He's miles
total
ahead.
is miles away
Wow.
in this field. His total is big enough to be competitive in the 59s.
His bench his bench and his deadlift actually.
Very strong.
Yeah, were far in excess of his competitors.
So Rostislav Zerebstov from the Ukraine now, 190. Very, very strong young man.
Just taking time to make sure his grip's perfect.
He's got an interesting grip.
Yeah, it seemed to sit very low in the fingers, didn't it?
Doesn't really wrap his hands right around.
But it certainly
seems
didn't
to
stop
work.
him.
Afsal
So
Ali
we
from
have
Great Britain.
being sent out by Stormy Norman Chung.
So it's an interesting nickname.
Here we go.
And it's another very strong young man. I think he's got a huge, huge future. And with his build in this weight class,
I think he's quite a new lifter too.
yeah, I think if I remember rightly, this is his first international.
I think so. No trouble there.
With his build in this weight class,
Yeah.
I think his bench is going to develop very, very well, and he's going to be extremely competitive. Julien Guterres from France now, 197.5.
Fast loaded.
Well, it looks like he's got more of a semi-sumo stance, quite a narrow
Yeah, there's
sumo.
some interesting variations we're seeing these days.
It suits him very well, but it's unusual to have your toes pointed quite so forward
Yeah.
with the sumo stance.
But he gets it on the board, and it certainly suits him. It was a very easy opening
It was.
lift. Denis Pavlov from Russia now.
And I think this is where we see that there isn't one solution to suit everybody.
No, we have our standards and things like that, but everyone's biomechanically different.
Yep.
And this kid here, is ridiculously strong for his build. And
He's a
his
bit
weight
late to the
class.
platform though. We're already down
I'm not
to
sure what's happened
45
here.
seconds.
Yeah, they're giving a hurry along.
I don't like to be this rushed.
No. I
40
like to
seconds
be-
on the clock and he's...
I like my athletes to be standing there,
yeah.
waiting for bar load.
I mean, 30 seconds when you get to the platform is still plenty of time, especially on deadlift. You're not going to be asked to replace the bar.
But you'd like to have plenty of time up your sleeve.
Yeah.
This kid has a 177.5 squat, 130 bench.
Dear.
And that was a bit heavier than he probably would have liked. He did open on a very big personal best though.
He got one red light, a blue card from one of the side referees for
So
whether that was supporting or downward movement, I'm not sure.
his previous personal best was 195 and he opened at 200. So
He-
probably a big call for an opening lift.
Yeah, and I think the look on his face told a tale.
And I mean, it's not. I mean, it's certainly something that You know, he's probably hit in training 1,000 times, but did he hit it in training after doing 3 squats
Yeah,
and
true.
3 benches and all those warm-ups,
True.
and with all the lights and all the cameras and 2 very tough commentators looking over the top?
I think he's more concerned about the tough referees looking at him.
Daniel Tan, 205. He's quite a calm and composed lifter, this young man.
Seeing quite a lot of lifters from Singapore now.
Yeah, they're sending bigger and bigger teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, powerlifting is such a growing sport. I think we have 66 nations here
Wow.
for this competition.
That's huge.
Double overhand hook grip. If you can do it, especially on sumo, it's a little bit of a biomechanical advantage. And he handles that very
Yeah,
well.
3 white lights.
Yeah, I think if I remember right, there's 66 nations here for this competition, and I think the IPF is almost at 120 nations.
Wow.
So it's growing and growing
That
and
must be
growing.
close to all of them, mustn't it?
Well, my geography's not that great.
No, mine either.
Fast loaded.
There's 100 and something countries in the world, a couple of hundred, I don't know. There's a lot of countries.
And there's a lot of them here.
Derek from Canada, 250.
I think he's just showing the bar who's boss there.
Yeah, I love all the little
Quirks.
and rituals.
Yeah.
And I mean, certainly it's something I've encouraged over the years. A lot of my athletes is to have your little setup
Yeah.
ritual.
Just
And to
makes
do
it the same every
Yeah,
time.
every
Gives you
single
that
time.
consistency of setup.
Yeah, sometimes it's as simple as how you grab the bar. He's using a very interesting grip there. So he's using a mixed
A
hook
mixed hook grip. I don't think I've ever seen that before,
grip. That is the first time I've seen a mixed hook grip.
but it certainly suited him. That flew off the floor. And that's 250 kilos. That is nearly 50 kilos higher than any of the lifters in his class.
Massive.
That's astonishing. He weighed in bang on the money at 59 kilos today, and he's just opened with 250
That
kilos.
is monstrous.
I think we're going to see a world record attempt coming up.
I think we might get close to that. I mean, the way that moved.
It did look super easy. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw 260.5 come out for a second attempt.
So Yota Tanabe now from Japan, 150.
So back to the 53 kilo class now. Bit of a difficult break from the floor, but once he got it moving, there was no
Yeah,
problem
once
at
it
all.
came
there.
off the floor, it moved fast enough. I love watching the juniors. I mean, some of these guys are lifting in the opens as well. And some of these guys are not just lifting in the opens, they're taking away medals in the opens.
Have we got any lifting in the open in this competition?
Not from this class, I don't
Okay.
think, but we will have. And some of these, I mean, some of the junior athletes, not just competing in the opens, they're winning in the opens.
I think we'll see a little bit of that in the 84 kilo women's as well in
Yeah.
open class. Okay, Kaito Hirai, he missed this on his opening attempt. I think he had some issue with balance.
Yeah, look, I think if he can just put all the little bits and pieces together.
Yeah. If he gets it right, it'll go.
And if I remember rightly, he had a similar problem on bench, I think, where he just didn't get all the bits together. Came out and smoked the next one.
Oh, he's had the same issue again. His knees unlocked. See, the problem when your knees unlock is they slide under the bar and you can get called for supporting, and he
that's
has
what's happened.
been. 2-1, no lift.
No, it really just looks like
Just
he's
a
opened
tiny
little
bit too heavy, yeah. Such a shame.
Edward Taylor, 160 now.
He's tall, isn't he, for a 53?
He's a very, very tall lifter.
That bar's going to have to travel a long way.
So this will equal his personal best. Wow.
No trouble at all.
I think he's going to destroy his personal best. And he walks off and looks at his coach and says, well, that was pretty easy. Have you got anything harder for me?
Well, I think he might have.
Terrence Go from Singapore, 182 and a half.
Only been competing for 1 year, and he's at the IPF World Championships.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this young man is probably one of the most casual walkouts I've ever seen. He just casually approaches the platform. He was the same on squats as well.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Some lifters have to bring so much fire and energy and aggression to the bar.
Everyone has their own way of dealing with it. I used to, many years ago, I used to compete in martial arts, and the guy I used to train with would go to competitions, and his warm-up would consist of sitting in the stands asleep. And there was occasionally we had to wake him up and tell him it was his turn to compete. And absolutely smoked that.
No issues at all. Very calm. Took his time on the setup. Took his time to make the pull. But when he decided to go, bang.
Yep.
Straight up.
There it is. Junto Chia from Japan, 187 and a half.
So he's gone up 7.5 kilos. That's reasonably conservative.
So Derek has put in a 265.
Yeah, I was just looking ahead to. I think we're going to see some
Easy.
excitement for the overall podium.
Oh, he had to work
That was
hard,
a
but
tough
he
pull,
gets
wasn't
there.
it? Yeah, 3 white lights. Not sure how much more he's got though. I think that was close to his limit.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'd probably only put another 5 kilos on that. And I think
Yeah,
that's probably
if
going to
that,
be a push as well.
I'd be tempted to put 2.5 on there, to be honest.
Hugo Granberg, 190. You can see the difference in the way people
Yeah,
walk out. There
he
comes
stormed out to the
firing
platform.
Yeah, and there's no one way that's better than the other. It's just individual.
Whatever suits you.
And you as an athlete and the coach have to find what works for you. And that works for him.
Yeah, you wouldn't usually coach a grabbing. He got 1 red light there. He got a red light for lockout. But you wouldn't usually coach a grabbing style for deadlifts. It's a little bit risky, a little bit inconsistent, but it
go the old,
worked for
old
him.
grip and rip. But
Yep.
I really like to really dig my hands in.
Here comes Jumping Ada. He
I think
really
I
is
think
a.
Vicky just got caught up in the moment there as well, because she came falling out from behind too.
Well, it's great to see him having such a great time and so relaxed on the platform, but as long as he can maintain focus and get his lifts in.
And he had to work a bit
He
for
did,
that one.
he did.
John Panada puts 192.5 on the board.
I could see him laughing, waiting to come out, and I wonder if he just needs a little bit more focus.
Yeah, it's a really tough line, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, between
And you want the lifters to enjoy the
you've got to
competition.
enjoy it, but you want them to also be focused on the task at hand. Yeah, it's a really fine line finding that balance between the energy. Rostislav Cherepzov from Ukraine, 200 kilos now.
Just a smidge under his PB.
And you got to take your hats off to a lot of these coaches. I mean, I know the guys in the corner for Ukraine here, they were on the same flight as me heading back to Belarus and Ukraine after Tokyo, and now they're here.
Some of the lifters too.
Yeah, some of the lifters as well. He locks those knees super fast, doesn't he?
He does. Flies off the floor.
Fast loading.
We have another very calm lifter. His coach is very fired up.
Julian Therese from France.
So this will be his last year as a junior, I think.
Yeah, this is it. So he opens next year.
Okay, a little bit of a work at the lockout,
little bit of
but
work.
not too bad.
He sort of almost moved to a sumo conventional on that one.
Yeah.
He sort of mistimed it there, but had the strength and probably just enough experience to recover from it. Hafsal Ali from Great Britain. Yeah, this guy's my #1 pick for a future world champion. Actually,
Okay.
yeah, I can just see him developing. His bench, he put on a 105, and I can see him pushing, 130s and 140s in the next couple of years.
Ooh, just didn't seem to.
Didn't want to move it. You can
No.
see the look on his face there was sort of like, well, that sucked, didn't it? But
Yeah, he seemed quite surprised by that. I wonder.
yeah, that is one young man I'd be keeping my eye on in the future. I think he's going to develop into an absolute world champion.
Fantastic. I will let him know.
Denis Pavlov from Russia, and here's another one to keep your eye on as well.
So he's currently sitting in 3rd place overall.
And
This will move him. No, it won't. He's heavier.
his opening lift was tough, really tough.
Yeah, and he's gone up 10.
And I got to say, that actually looked
That
better
looks-
than his first one.
Yeah, or at least no harder.
There he gets the 3 white lights.
I think it looks harder for the look on his face. He looks like it's killing him, pulling it.
But it moved a lot faster, and the lockout
Yeah.
was a lot quicker. Just starting to warm up now. Daniel Tan from Singapore, 217.5.
So that did move him up to 2nd place, both in deadlift and overall. But of course, the other 2 lifters in the 59s haven't taken their 2nd deadlift yet.
We could see a little bit of a battle up there.
I think we could. There's
close
not
enough.
much in it. There's 7.5 kilos between the top 3.
They're close enough for the opportunity to arise.
But the Canadian lifter smoked his first deadlift, didn't he? It was super easy.
And look, he's going to hit the world record, and it's actually his world record.
Is it? Okay. I wondered why he wasn't chipping it. He's put quite a bit on it. This is quite a big jump. He went from 205 to 217.5.
Yeah, it's a fairly decent jump, especially in this weight class.
Was this not the lifter that did hook grip alternate last time?
Now, no, it's not, but he just got it in there. I reckon if they had held him for another half a second.
You know, that puts him straight into 1st place with the Canadian lifter still to pull.
It just gets so close, doesn't it?
It really is. This is all going to come down to the final deadlift, which, is how it should be.
That's what you want. So here we go. World Junior total record.
Current record is 260, so he's putting a fat 5 kilos on that.
So this should be a World Junior total record and a World Junior deadlift record. He's gone for the 2-for-1 sale. And that's why he's gone the 265.
Okay, so he's nailing the total record as well.
So he currently holds the deadlift record,
But not the total?
not the total record.
Oh.
The total record is Andres Ramos from the US. Incidentally, both these
This was the lifter with the alternate hook grip.
And incidentally, both these records were set in Calgary last year.
Oh, really?
I've never seen an alternate hook grip.
But look at that.
But
That
it
was so
worked
easy.
superbly for him.
You've never seen
That
such an
is
easy
the
world record either.
fastest world record
Yeah.
lift. I've seen just absolutely flew.
Superb.
He's got 275 in the tank.
I think so.
Yota Tanabe from Japan now, so to come around to the start. I'm really interested to see what he puts in for the second, because I think there's a 275 in the tank.
So he's pulled out a 10 kilo lead overall now.
Yeah, certainly opened the gap up a little bit, but
Yeah.
it's not over until the last
No.
lift.
No, absolutely.
So 160 on the bar for Yota from Japan. He has had a good 140, a good 150. Now can he put a personal best in the bag to take home with him?
That's the icing on the cake, isn't it? If you can put in a competition PB at this level.
Yeah, it's always nice to do, and it's so much harder to put in a personal best at an international level. There's just so much more pressure.
And it was tough, but I think that was a
Yeah, I
perfectly
think that's
judged
a good
third
lift.
attempt. Absolutely
And he's happy
brilliant.
with
He
that
is
big
happy.
Smile.
Fantastic. I think people don't realise how difficult it is to compete on this sort of stage.
It is so much stress.
Huge
and
amount of
the
travel.
Amount of energy that
Yeah.
even just the stress on competing on this stage
Yeah.
burns so much energy. Yeah, and then plus the travel.
Yeah. Okay, so Kaito Hirai, he needs this. He's struggled.
Yeah, he's put in so much work in the squat and the bench.
And this
It's
will get
such
him
a
an overall
shame.
podium if he can pull it, but you know, I think it was just a bit too heavy.
It's such a shame to not register a total after all that work he's done.
He's just got to hit this as hard as he can.
Yeah, he's just got to leave it all on the platform. Everyone wants to see him get this.
It's going. Can he? Oh, I think we might see blues again.
Yeah, it
No.
looked better, but I don't think it's good enough.
It
good
is
enough. He puts it on
fantastic.
the board.
Oh, you can see
So
the
happy
relief
to
fall
see
off
that.
him. Fantastic.
No
And
one,
he's
I mean, even his competitor that would have rolled up to third overall didn't want to see him miss that
no,
lift.
absolutely. It's
The
absolutely
one
horrible.
thing I love about this sport is that you're standing there cheering for the guy that's going to beat you.
Yeah.
You know, we saw yesterday in the heavyweights, the previous record holder helping the guy trying to beat his record. I mean, that's just what this sport's all about.
We saw this at the English Championships this weekend. Tony Cliff was congratulating the chap that took his deadlift record.
It's just, you know, it's the embodiment of
Yeah,
powerlifting.
really is.
Edward Taylor, 167 and a half.
He's looked great so far.
Yeah, this will give him a big personal best. He'll get to take home a silver medal overall.
And that's a great deadlift.
He'll take home a silver medal on total, and he might even take home a silver medal on deadlift yet.
I think he will. I think he's got it.
Yeah, that does. Yeah, no, that'll put him in the silver medal.
Yep.
So Junto Chia from Japan now, 192 and a half. So this will equal his personal best.
He's gone up 5. I think his second was quite tough though.
And Derek has put in a 275 for his last
You
lift,
called that, didn't you?
and he's going to absolutely try and destroy the previous records. 192 and a half. This will equal his personal best.
It's
And
not going,
looks
is
like
it?
someone turned the gravity
Yeah.
up this morning. Can someone pop out the back and just check the gravity switch there? It just didn't want to move today.
It's really hard. You get to your third deadlift, you've worked so hard.
The neural system is fried.
Yeah.
The energy's sapped. You know, on a fresh day, you probably could have moved that.
Yeah.
But when you're out of steam like that. So we've got Terrence go. This is his fired up look. Yeah. You can see the difference. Here he goes. 195. Throw a couple of kilos on his personal best. Be a nice way to finish. Takes the time getting that grip on.
Oh, and this one's a struggle.
It's just
No,
a little bit
it's
too
not
much.
going.
You got
He
it
went up
moving.
7.5 kilos, which is quite a big jump.
Yeah, he got it moving. Not to be disappointed though. He's had a great day. John Panada from Canada, 197.5.
I could see him waiting to come out. He was smiling and laughing and dancing.
And
He's taken a huge back slap off Vicky Taylor-Hood.
He is the world champion. 53 kilogram
He's
world
asking for
champion.
support from the crowd.
He's already got it in the bag. His medal is packed, ready to go home. And this one is for him.
I wonder sometimes, though, if you don't need it, you don't bring quite as much energy to it.
It's always really tough if you're not being pushed. And just a little bit too much.
But he's
today.
happy. He's happy.
Look, he's had a fantastic day. He's the world champion. Great to see a young man walk around and shake the hands of all the referees. Hugo Gramberg now, 200 kilograms. This will be a big personal best for him. And he is fired up for this one.
He is. He's gone up 10 kilos from his last pull.
It's a big, big jump on the last lift in this weight class.
Getting a huge amount of support from his coach. But that's going nowhere.
Just a little bit too much today.
Yeah, just tried for a bit too much. He went 180, 190, and the 200 just wasn't quite there.
Look, I think a 10 kilo jump, in this weight class, at the end of the session for your last lift is a big ask.
Yeah.
And
it's huge proportion of body weight, isn't it?
I mean, I'm not going to say I've never done that before with an athlete, but I've done it with when you know they've still got that little bit extra in the tank.
Yeah.
So here he is, 202.5, Afzal Ali from Great Britain.
Now this didn't go anywhere on his second attempt.
Yeah,
he looked really surprised.
And I'm still banking on this young man as a future world champion.
Here he goes.
And
it's just going nowhere, is it?
Today. He has used up everything he's had. He had a couple of big fights on the bench.
Yeah.
And that sapped him a little bit.
It's surprising how much back you can use up on the bench press.
Those little fights, those little grinds that you have, if you've got too many of them throughout the competition, they just take their toll. But he's had a great day. Julien Gutierrez from France now, 210. This will be a big personal best for him as well.
Quite a big jump as well. Is this going to put him in?
So this will move him to third in the deadlift temporarily.
It will, won't it? Because he's lighter on body weight.
His 202.5 moved pretty well. Wasn't too much of a battle.
Still, I think this is a big ask.
Oh,
do you know?
Just can't lock it out.
So close. I think 207 would have gone.
Yeah, he just couldn't quite get to lock out.
He's just gone a bit grey there.
I don't think there's a single powerlifter watching at home or anywhere that hasn't had the old dizzy feelings after a big pull.
Yeah, you just run out of oxygen and everything goes a little bit grey for a moment. But
I've sat down a couple of times.
Yeah.
I've been lucky enough that I haven't fallen down. Ruslav from Ukraine, 210. So this is a big lift as well. He's added 10 kilos to his last as well.
So this will give him the deadlift bronze for the moment.
Yeah, so this is the number he needed to pull to get a bronze temporarily. Oh, he's got some fight, hasn't he?
He really has.
He has got some fight in him.
To have even got that off the floor when it was so hard to break it. Huge determination.
Daniel Tan now from Singapore, 222.5.
He's head to head with his coach. Getting some last minute talking to.
Yeah, getting inside his head there. Getting that mindset right for this pull. So he has the silver medal overall.
So I
It'll
don't
be
think this will
interesting to
change any
see.
positions.
Well, it won't, but I'll be interested to see if Pavlov changes his last lift to try and pull for the silver.
Maybe so.
I can see the Russian coach hanging around there.
Coach advising him to take his time. He's certainly taken that advice to heart.
And
Oh, he tried for
just
quite a
didn't
while,
want
but
to
that wasn't
move.
going anywhere.
So he's opened the door now, because Pavlov can now
So
sneak in for that gold
what are
medal.
the Russians going to do?
They don't
Well,
need to change
no.
with this one.
That's right.
So they can sneak in. If he can get this one on the board, it's a big core. It's 12.5 kilos.
Yeah, and they can't drop because that was the
Yeah,
lift that the
and
previous lift took.
His opening lift was tough. His second looked a little better. 12.5 kilos. But you know what? His bronze medal is secured. You've got to have a crack at
There's
it.
no reason why not, is there? And he's got it moving.
He's
Wow.
so strong and so much heart. He almost got there.
I think he did really well to get that to
You
his
know what?
knees.
It was
I do.
worth an attempt. We've actually got a world open record attempt here. So
Wow.
he's put in a world open record attempt. So this will give him the open deadlift record, the junior deadlift record, and the total record.
All the audience stand up. We need to give full support. It's an open world
Wow.
challenge.
This is to take the open record as a junior.
Yeah. So the
It's no
current
mean feat.
world open record is 274, and he wants 275. And when he pulled that 265, I said, I think he's got a 275 in the tank.
And the entire stadium was
This
on its feet.
is amazing.
He looks so calm, doesn't he?
Yeah, we talk about these guys competing in the opens and being competitive. Here we are in the juniors, and he's going for an open record. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah,
He made
all the
265
other
look
athletes
easy.
have come out from around the back to have a look as well. They all wanted to get this. He's the world junior 59 kilo class champion.
He's already world champion. He's already got the gold medal. He's already got the junior world record.
Why not take the open as well? He's going for the hat trick.
Wow,
And
that's just absolutely
I said
fantastic.
275, but I think he actually had a 280 in the tank.
That's
Wow.
phenomenal.
3 white lights, world open record. He's the world champion. Tam will take the silver, Pavlov with the bronze. What an absolutely incredible
Just
way to
amazing.
finish this session. Don't go too far away. We'll see these guys in the medal ceremony very soon. And of course, there's plenty more action to come from Calgary today. From Helsingborg today.
Deadlift, bronze medal goes to Japan, Yuta Tanabe 160. Silver medal goes to USA, Edward Taylor 167.5. And the gold medal goes to Canada, female 192.5. And the total. Bronze medal goes to Japan, Naito Irai 392.5. Silver medal goes to USA, Edward Taylor 450. The gold medal and world champion from Canada, John Pinera 457.5. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up for the national anthem of Japan. Juniors, 98 grams, squat, bronze medal goes to Canada, Derek Energy 1.7745. Silver medal goes to Russia, Dennis Carlo 1.77.5. And the gold medal goes to Singapore and Daniel Tan 197.5. Gold medal. Thank you. For the bench press, the bronze medal goes to Japan, Yuto Tsuchiya 120. Silver medal goes to Ukraine, Rostislavna Shevchenko 122.5. Gold medal